Hello and welcome back to SPINcast. My name is Sheridan, and today we are here with some of the directors from EZ Esports, a New York City-based esports league, but I'll let the experts fully explain EZ Esports and how it came to be. If we just want to start off with introductions, whoever wants to kick us off.
Hi, my name is Edison Zong. I am the founder of EZ Esports. I currently attend University of Southern California, and I'm class of 2026 studying economics and data science with a minor in game entrepreneurism.
Hello, my name is Naya Antaki. I am currently a rising junior at Brooklyn Technical High School, and I graduate in 2025 from high school, and I am currently the broadcasting director for Easy Esports.
And my name is Essence Nguyen. My school is Leon M. Goldstein, and I graduate in 2024, so I'm a rising senior, and I am the social media director of Easy Sports.
All right. It's great to meet you all and have you all here on the SPINcast. Tell us your story. How did EZ Esports come to be?
I'll take that question. So I was a high school senior at the time. This was 2021, 2021 in November, and I just founded Susan E. Wagner High School Esports Club, and uh, I, I I I always loved gaming. I was part of handball team, debate team, bowling team. Did I already say bowling team? I'm not sure, but I was part of these teams, and I wanted us to have an esports team because I was like huge into gaming, and I gathered a bunch of my friends, and we just advertised the club throughout the school. And in our first meeting, we amassed like 180 kids, and it was amazing. And I was so happy with the outcome that I thought that there should be a esports league for New York City. For I know my kids, my club at the time, they wanted to compete against other high schools, and there wasn't any opportunity for that. So I had connections in with Stuyvesant Esports Club, Midwood Esports Club, and then they helped me branch out to these other esports club, and it just became like a huge network where we all like we just went like, hey, we should come together and make a esports league. And actually, Essence here, she was part of that team. She's from Leon Goldstein, and I had one of my friends from Midwood reach out to Leon Goldstein, and Essence was one of the people that I met first, and we just came together and we talked about how we wanted to create an esports league, what all the various roles it would entail, and what our responsibilities would look like, and how to be organized and whatnot. And yeah, this is our second year, and we're going into our third year.
Absolutely. And when you saw the initial interest in your school's club, how did you know to put together this entire league with a broadcast director, social media director? How did you mirror it after other organizations that you've seen? How did you set up those foundations?
So I just drew a lot of my inspiration from I watched a lot of LCS because I'm a League of Legends player, and I really loved how they had like tournaments, and they had broadcasters, and they had an audience. And we didn't have those resources, but we I just knew that I wanted people who were interested in esports to have like a similar experience to what your traditional athlete had. Like in our basketball teams, they all have their own basketball courts, and they have audiences, and football teams, they have that as well. And I always felt the same way about esports. Like a lot of students are interested in esports, and a lot of students, I just knew a lot of students, they would be interested in participating in something similar to what these traditional sports teams have. So like I remember I spent before when I made like this huge Google Doc, and I just wrote down like it was just like a stream of consciousness of like what esports league would need to have. And we needed people for like regulations, people for game division, people for broadcasting, social media, and I would have to find people who are interested in these various roles. and it was like weeks of planning, like just weeks of just typing what should be here, what should this have. And once I finalized that Google Doc, it turned into something tangible. Like what I mentioned earlier, I started reaching out to these students. Hey, this is my idea. What do you guys think of it? And can we all meet together at um, this date? And I picked November 18th because it was my mom's birthday, and I wanted to like some way commemorate that, I guess. And then that's our founding date, November 18th, and that's basically when all of our seasons start, November 18th, just to commemorate our first Easy Esports meeting, which consisted of like all the clubs throughout New York City and all their like club leaders, all the club presidents, and yeah.
Absolutely. And then do you guys each want to talk about your roles and what like the day-to-day of operations looks like?
So, for the broadcasting division, we have our broadcasters and our shoutcasters. Now, our broadcasters, the way that like we involve students is with no matter their skill level, no matter how experienced they may be with the work, if there's an interest, if there's a passion, if there's a want to learn, we take them. Now, depending on the path they go down, they may choose they may decide they want to be a broadcaster, they may decide they want to be a shoutcaster, perhaps a bit of both. So those who want to be a broadcaster, I usually so my job is to sort of take them quote unquote under my wing, and I take them through workshops. I teach them how OBS works, how to work graphics, how to work live streams as it's going, appropriate conduct when using Twitch, when broadcasting. Those who decide to become a shoutcaster usually end up in like a sort of workshop with my other half, the other broadcasting director, and she takes them through like a sort of like a workshop on how to commentate, how to point like certain play-by-play characteristics out, how to color cast, things of that nature.
That's awesome. And that's really cool to hear that y'all take anyone of any experience and like do workshops and tutorials.
Yeah, everyone's got to start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So basically, in the social media division side of things, um, basically our job is to inform our like members or like inform just people in general of like what's going on inside of our league. So that basically entails like game results, announcements for like events we have like either like in person like finals, semifinals, and basically how that works is like I have my like team of like associate directors, and we basically pick the work we want to do. So one person can like follow like the league results, and based on the league results of like those games, they would make a post of it, or like based on the results of the Valorant games, they'd make a post of it. So that's how like the people in our league are able to like see who won that game and whatnot. And also if they want to come to like any event, they'll be able to know of that as well.
Yeah, just to add on to that, I know initially, I when I planned the social media division in the very first year, I watch a lot of NBA, and I follow the NBA's Instagram, and they post results of like how their NBA matches went, and which teams played, and that's basically what our social media team does. They, like Essence said, we just try to inform everybody what's going on within the league. Um, Anybody who wants to check out our Instagram, it's e.z.esports. So go check out our amazing work. We have amazing graphic designers. They do amazing. Um, Speaking from I used to be uh when I was a high school when I was my day to day when I was a CEO. It was just to like manage all these various divisions, and like since we were like all in our infancy stage, I mean we still are in our infancy stage. We just see like how we can make these improvements between each division, and just see uh let me try to think of an example. For instance, when when our when our Valorant division just came up, we made a rule book, and issue we we knew like some rules we didn't foresee initially, and then we just like kept on implementing. It was like trial and error. We just kept building onto what we had, and it's basically what our league is. We just keep trial and error, and it works. It's active, it's thriving, and a lot of our students are having fun. And
It's cool to see how much like goes into something like this, because I feel like when students or anyone is looking at like a league like this, they probably don't understand all that goes into it and like how much work it actually is. Um, why? What would you say is the reason why this cause is so important to you? And then also, what are your 1 year to 3 year goals for Easy Esports?
well, one of the many reasons why I started Easy Esports was basically education isn't is a basis of humankind, and it's not always granted adequately. And I and a main role because of that is social economic status. And um I just knew that esports would help counter these negative impacts of social economic status. Like for instance, I know that gaming is usually more accessible and would like foster it would just create a team environment that isn't available in a lot of schools, and basically just make kids more interested in school. And I just want esports to be a way for students to gain a bigger interest in school, be more interested, and ultimately create that team environment that they never had. Like I know a lot of students that are currently participating in esports, they didn't try out for like basketball team because they're like too small or something, and they always had like that competitive nature. And I'm just happy to know that like esports is something that can bring out that nature, and just help them explore prospective career paths that they didn't know were available to them.
Yeah, absolutely. You're providing them with this outlet for them, which is really important, especially like you said, there are a group of people who may not be interested in sports, and like that's totally okay. But they should have somewhere that they can go to, they can compete on a team, they can interact with others, they can get their competitive energy out. I think that's really important, and that's a great cause for, easy esports and esports in schools as a whole. I got to talk to a high school esports coach from Arkansas. They were about to shut the esports club down because they had no one to run it. He was someone's dad who was like, sure, I'll run the esports club. And he shared this story where they had this kid who wouldn't speak to anyone. But when they joined the esports club, he told the kid, hey, you're going to play Splatoon today. And he ended up like talking to other people and like having fun and laughing and making friends. And I feel like that's super important and something that parents or other older folks may not understand about video games, is that it's not always solitary. It's very like together. It's something that you can do with a community. So it's really important that that's the cause behind this.
Oh yeah, just like down the line, I just hope that uh, well, Easy Esports, we want to make sure that we have like a low barrier accessibility, like low barrier for accessibility. We know like sometimes there are other esports leagues, but they charge like a tremendous amount of money for students to participate in. I know Spin, like you guys are amazing. You guys just hosted a tournament that was free of charge, and that was that's awesome. But there's esports leagues that don't don't provide their services for free. And um in New York City, a lot of these kids are we don't have money laying around. So I I think esports should be like very accessible. And I just hope that down the line that we can like Easy Esports becomes like a company that can provide esports to marginalized communities, and just share the love. Just make sure everybody has a chance to experience esports if they want to experience it.
Yeah, I think that's super important. And it's like really incredible that y'all have had this like foresight to not only create opportunities for those who might not have them, but you've also created opportunities for broadcasting, graphic design, social media. Can you tell us a little bit more about the impact regarding those aspects?
So basically, in a lot of like New York City schools, not all of them can provide students like an outlet for like the content world or like creativity wise. So like through graphic design, social media, uh, people are able to maybe merge an interest of like their creative like part of them and put it into something that is still like related to school but is also related to like this esports side, so it allows them to like not only um do something in within their interest but also like branch out and develop these skills that like maybe school is not like allowing them to.
Have you seen a lot of engagement in that aspect in the students that you have like working on your team with you, that they're like bringing all these ideas and able to like kind of thrive in y'all's community?
Yeah, definitely. Cause some people on my team, like, they're like, they're like better than me. So like, I would be able to like learn off them. Like, we'd bounce off ideas and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Y'all have this little community where you can also like learn from each other, which is really cool, and
Yeah.
like get those skills. Because when I was a social media manager for Florida State Esports, I was already in college. I don't have a marketing degree. I don't know anything about marketing. I knew some things about graphic design, but I was already in college and had to like figure it out. So it's cool that y'all are getting those skills like really early and you're able to, you know, dedicate time to them and kind of form your passions really early. I think that that's super cool.
Yeah, and like you can see on like our Instagram, like you can see like the progression of like us like kind of getting better per se in like this like area.
And then what other impactful stories surrounding Easy Esports are there? Any scholarship or career success stories? You know, maybe someone coming in and like absolutely blossoming, anything like that?
Yeah, I know. So every year we have a all-star event. I drew inspiration from your traditional sports teams, like these. They have their own all-stars, and basically we banded up our all-stars, and then usually they are the ones who go off to continue playing esports in college. And I know, for instance, one of our his name is Oscar, and he graduated 2022, and he's currently playing on the league and Valorant team for UB, and he gets like thousands of dollars for scholarships just to play on their team, and I think that's amazing. And we are still in our infancy stage, like I said earlier, and these success stories will come at more of them will come, but right now we just have like a few students who have scholarships at various colleges and more affordable college. That's it.
Absolutely, and y'all will be getting the word out there more as well. Like you said, you're still in your infancy, and success can really be anything that you deem it to be, whether it's a scholarship or like, you know, 2,000 followers or like anything like that. It can really be like the impact that your organization is having. I mean, from what y'all have said so far, it sounds like there's been a huge impact, even in just the three of y'all's lives, which is really cool. Um, has there been any movement with the Department of Education in recognizing esports?
We've actually made like quite a few significant strides as of the past year. We've definitely connected a lot within the Department of Education, particularly with superintendents. Uh, I'm assuming the Department of Educations work very similarly in different areas, but superintendents are basically those who control certain districts within the New York City school district. Now, we had the honor of working with Mr. Stifler and Miss Haskins, both two wonderful people from the New York City Department of Education, and they've definitely been like proponents of easy esports, and they've definitely helped to like get us out there. Like for example, with Mr. Stifler, he showcased us in a town hall for the South Queens districts within the New York City Department of Education, which then allowed us to sort of share and express our ideas and this organization that we care for so much with so many different families and parents who took genuine interest in this and even thought to maybe like have their kids involved in this later down the line once they obviously got to high school age, or even high schoolers now, some parents of high schoolers now.
Absolutely. So it sounds like while there may not have been like there's been strides, and I don't know if you can hear the lawnmower outside. There's been strides made, and you might be getting closer to more people understanding, getting the word out there, and hopefully they will recognize esports as a sport. I know when I graduated college, I went back to my high school. I'm from Illinois, from Chicago, and I talked them into potentially starting some esports teams. They already had a gaming club. And Illinois actually recognizes esports as a sport, which is really cool. So hopefully, one day that'll be the case for y'all in New York. But it's really cool to see what different states are doing, and hopefully, making more strides towards official recognition and whatever that might look like. What do you think is missing in the high school esports scene that is still separating itself from traditional sports?
So what I think is separating esports from traditional sports is just like the stigma that surrounds esports. It I think at some point the stigma will deteriorate and it will go away, but the only way for that to happen is like just um students just educating, I mean not just students but like just everybody just educating each other about, hey, esports is just another way of being involved in your school community and developing your own personal skills and your interests. And I mean another thing that yeah, just like equal recognition between esports and your traditional sports. And also I think down the line, like schools across the nation, they should have just like every basketball team has their own basketball courts, every esports teams, they should have their own esports labs. And I think that's like that's how you fill in that gap. And um those are the two primary differences I can think of. I don't know if Essence, now you guys have anything to add on.
I actually have like an
Yeah.
episode on it. So basically, I feel that a lot of people in like high school, they connect esports to just like somebody playing games like all day, someone like sitting at their desk like not doing anything, playing games, and like they wouldn't really, I guess, like want to associate with like that kind of thing. But I feel like that is not what esports is. Like esports is like an entirely like different thing. It's like it like gives, it's like any other sport basically, like basketball or like soccer, but it's video games. So it's like not like we just there's just a big like bad stigma around the league.
I definitely agree with Essence and Edison, and I feel as though like the way that like esports is viewed most of the time is like seen as just, like this far off like distant realm. It's like, granted, it has its own like cultures and subcultures that many different like sports and many different disciplines of a traditional sports has, but at the same time I feel as though a lot of the stigma tends to come from people looking at it from a practical view of, oh, you're not physically moving, rather than a holistic view, in my opinion, of that being like camaraderie, teamwork, sportsmanship, things of that nature.
Absolutely. I've I definitely agree with all of those points. Like, there's really not a lot different between traditional sports and esports. Like, I've been to, Rocket League, like majors and stuff, and there's fans screaming, fans wearing their team's jerseys, making up chants. Like, really, it's a very similar experience. I never felt myself being able to connect with sports, and then I found Rocket League, and being in that fan environment, being in that stadium, I feel like I get it. I'm like, oh, this is how sports people feel. Like, I totally get it. So I definitely agree that people are looking at it like, well, they're not being physically active, but they're still communicating just as much as sports teams are. They still have like hand-eye coordination, and they're still training for it. Like, it's not so different. And then one of the other points that y'all brought up is, getting those resources for students. Like, a lot of schools have basketball courts. Like, why not also an esports lab? And once you implement that, you're making it more accessible, because then people don't have to have their own equipment. They can come to school and they can use it there. And I feel like y'all are so insightful. I think it's great. I definitely agree with all these points that are made here. Let's see.
And just to add on to that, I know retention rates for schools that do have um, esports labs, it tends to grow, and if we add that into high schools as well, it could invite, like, I know a lot of students in high school, they're beginning, a lot of students are interested in research, or like research that requires like high processing power, and like during the day, these esports labs can be operated as equipment for research, and and just and then during after school hours, it could just be used for these teams to game on, and yeah, I think having esports labs within every school, it would just be such a huge investment, and it would definitely um, bring a lot of kids to school. Yeah.
And the way that you explain it too is not only like during the day you can use it for like programming classes or research or stuff like that. It's really not that big of a barrier, because like a lot of schools who want to be more tech focused, like, yeah, of course they're going to have a computer lab where they can teach their students about programming. Why not also have it be the esports lab after school? Like, you don't need like RGB lights and like light up headsets and all that kind of stuff. Like, you can really make it bare bones but still provide these opportunities for students. So that's an incredible point. Thank you for bringing that up. What advice or tips do you have for other students who may be interested in maybe creating a similar type of organization for their state or city, or just advice for aspiring esports players, professionals, anything like that?
You guys mind if I cover this
Sure,
question,
Naya,
just
you
because
got it.
I have a thought or two.
You
I
got it,
think
Naya.
that in terms of like starting esports organizations and esports players in general, I think the most important thing you can possibly do is take initiative. You can have a bunch of thoughts and you can have a bunch of wonderful ideas, but if you can't communicate that and you can't get that out into the world, it doesn't mean anything. What like the core, like, from, even here's the thing, even in easy esports itself, the core fundamental point of this is that the founding committee of not last year, but the year of 2 years ago, they took initiative in creating like almost like a domain for themselves and their community. It's that like step in taking initiative that then allows the ideas that you harbor in your mind you to blossom, to then like get out into the world, so then they could actually, start to grow and thrive, and that not only you but people around you, your community, can benefit from those ideas.
Yeah.
Definitely taking initiative is like absolutely key. If what is the quote? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Like, if you have
Precisely.
an idea, do it.
Yeah, and to add on to that, like just a little insight into like the technical part of running your own org, you need a lot of people who are first of all, like they're willing to invest time, and they're willing to learn, and they're open to ideas. And also something very very important is you need people to like specialize in the roles they want to specialize in. And specialization is very important. For instance, Naya is doing broadcasting, and uh Essence is doing social media. They both had a background in those roles before, so that's how their roles came to be.
Is there anything you wish you knew before you y'all started the organization?
That's a good question. Wait.
No, because I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think about it. Not because it's a tricky one. Well, not because it's a tricky one, but it's a fascinating question. Because you know what? Hold on. I think if like for example, like for instance, if I could go back and I could like maybe like do something over, at least like tell myself something in the past, it would probably be to just like to trust myself a little bit more. Just because like when you get like caught up in and like making sure that like everything like the esports are kind of like everything goes smoothly and that like things sort of like function in a timely manner, you tend to get a little caught up with like making sure every little detail is perfect. And while that is obviously important, it's important to also realize, you know, you gotta look at the big picture sometimes too. And that doesn't go just for esports, like that's just a lesson in general. You gotta focus on big picture sometimes.
Uh, I don't think there's like I have zero regrets. It's been very like this esports league, just like how it came to be and its upbringing. I have absolutely no takebacks. Like everybody I worked with, they helped me grow. I became a better person because of people like Essence and Naya and everybody else in the community. Um, as for something like I wish I had known, just don't care about what anything anyone says. I remember when I told somebody, they're like, an esports league, that's weird. And then I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm still doing it.
Favorite memories from running the league? Anything that stands out. Doesn't have to be like the greatest play of all time. It can be really anything that is important to you.
Okay. So during for context, during like the New York City like school calendar, we have like certain break weeks. Every school system has this. But we during our winter break, me along myself, my fellow broadcasting director who helps out with the shoutcasters, and then our fellow associate directors, we all like decided to have this like one day during winter break where we all went into Manhattan and we just kind of like we hung out for the first time. And you know like a proper hang, like obviously we'd like chat, like we'd like chill on like Discord, but this was the first time like we actually like got together, and like the sort of the sort of like frame of like we're quote unquote colleagues kind of melted away, and it sort of turned into like, oh, these are actually like wonderful people that like not only do I get the pleasure of working with them, but like they're my friends. And like I feel like not only did that like help to like strengthen like the general bond of the group, but I feel like because of the way, particularly the way that like shoutcasting works, when the shoutcasters have like a really good like friendship or like a really strong bond, their chemistry flourishes, and that in turn boosts their commenting, how they build off of one another, and then the overall quality of the stream. So in a way, that sort of day where where everyone just kind of like got to really know each other and got to really just enjoy one another's company and like build bonds, things of that nature. I feel like not only did that like help them flourish like spiritually, like individually, but also it helped like the division to flourish as a whole, which I thought was really wonderful.
For me, I feel like this one's a little cliche, but it's like it's a big one for me. It's like one of our first in-person games. Like I think it was like a playoffs, but it really like struck me because we as Easy Sports we formed like during quarantine, or like we formed like during like COVID. So like all of our games since then had to be like virtual, and stuff like that. So like seeing everybody in person, like, oh, these are actually like real people that like are like in our org and stuff like that. And also like it also like uh put into mind like the resources we have. Like it might not be like, oh, the biggest like place or like, but it like made me like grateful that we just have like such a like we have this support and stuff like that.
As for my favorite memory was the same, basically the same as Essen, just like seeing how everything like we all just came together, and we had so many like these people that just came to spectate for their friends, and people brought signs for their friends in our in our in-person events. After everything being virtual, we had Coach Matt Tyler. He's our special events coordinator, and he organizes our in-person events for us. And uh, he made all our in-person stuff possible, and just like seeing all of us come together, it 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 was just like wow, it was tangible, and also like just great to see like the smiles on people's faces, and like getting to know, hey, this person is this person. And yeah, just it was amazing to see everybody's faces for the first time.
Well, when I was at Florida State Esports, we were like pre-pandemic and then like post-pandemic. So it was like we were all in person before, then we were online, and then like we had a bunch of new people, and seniors graduated. So it was almost like we had a full new club when we all like came back together again. So yeah, it's absolutely important. There's nothing like that. And then final question: where can people go to find out more about Easy Esports? Shout y'all selves out. This is the place to do it. I'll put all the any social media you want. I'll put on the screen as well. So
Come
Yeah,
follow the Twitch. Come watch our Twitch streams. Twitch.tv/Easy Esports NYC. That's EZESPORTS NYC. Come watch the broadcast. Trust me, they're really fun. Our chat is actually really lively, and they get like really into it. Trust me, you're gonna enjoy it. If you guys wanna, what was the Insta handle? I don't exactly remember.
yeah.
E
All right.
dot
Guys,
Z dot esports.
there you
Yeah.
go. That's why we have social media division here.
And if you guys are like interested in any roles within our org, feel free to join our Discord servers, and we have applications that roll out in the summer
Oh
week.
yeah, no, we yeah, that's right. Apps are actually rolling out decently soon, because what happens is, like, seniors graduate, et cetera, et cetera. So, if you happen to be interested, I mean, hit us up perhaps.
Yeah.
all right.
Also check out our website, easesports.nyc. It was designed by co-founder Ivan Chen. He made most of the website. It looks amazing. Yeah.